Ugh.
Say that shit.
Woof.
Wait, what? Cheers.
I'm fucking mature.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Amateur Intellectuals. My name is Kendall, and I'm here with my co-co, Caitlin.
Hello.
Hey, girl. So, I'm just remembering, I have the drink down. I have some notes. I totally forgot that we do a fucking question, but I think I have a decent one off the top of my head.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Big Bend?
No, so when you originally said Big Bend, I thought you meant Indiana, because that's a big city in Indiana.
Oh.
And when you said that, when you were first heading out, I was like, shit. I mean, like, you're going really far. So no, I have not. No, nor have I even heard that there was a Big Bend, Texas.
Okay, yeah, so that's kind of I think the norm. It's kind of a national park secret. And then, strangely, it's like the people who come here, who have been here, rave about it. So it's like secret and then, it's like secret and then secret society. It's like, oh my god, yeah, you'll love it. Like, go do this, 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 and this. There's like 40 fucking trails and, it's beautiful. So it's like right at the border of Texas and Mexico.
Oh.
So it's, you know how Texas on like I was going to say the left side. That's probably the wrong way to say that. On the northeast, west side of Texas, there's that squiggles like down and then up and then back down.
Right, yes.
Big Bend is right in that nook. And, like, if you were to fill that with water, at the bottom of that, that's where Big Bend is.
Oh, wow. Well, it sounds like a nice vacation spot for sure.
It is. It is currently 94, though. So.
Oof.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, I think everyone knows, welcome if you're new. I just recently moved into a school bus, and the first destination is Big Bend. When I pulled up a week ago, it was like 38 at night, 42, 45, something like that, cold. And then it was like the high was like 65 the next day, and then over the course of the last week, it's warmed up a bit. So
Mother Nature has gotten fickle.
she is fucking angry. I don't know how to. But But apparently the next week is supposed to cool down a little bit, so we're going to stick around for that. We've done one hike in the park. We'll have to post photos. It was so cool. So there's this you've seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, of course.
You know the wall at the northern end?
Oh my god. Are you about to make a Trump wall joke?
Okay, no. I'm going the opposite way on purpose.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Out here, I'll send you a picture. It's like it looks just like that. It looks just like the wall from Game of Thrones, not Donald Trump.
Wow.
Fuck Donald Trump. But but there is also like a local joke of like, you don't need a fucking wall, look at that thing. And it's huge. But there's a crack in it. There's a oh shit, I just forgot the word. Canyon.
A crevasse.
A crevasse. For the
crevice.
Yes. There's a canyon it's called Terlingua Creek, carved out, 400 fucking million years ago, whatever, and then you can hike up in there, and it's just so darling. It's so cute. So today we're going to be talking about Terlingua, the history. It's a ghost town. It's the most visited ghost town in Texas. A little bit about Big Bend. We're going to get drunk because it's fucking hot, and be well on our way. So, the drink of the episode. We'll get into a little bit of the history of this in a bit, but there's a famous restaurant here, and it's called the Starlight Theater Restaurant Bar. And they make their own tequila. I haven't made it in yet because I coincidentally, got down here right as spring break started.
So 94 and a bunch of teenagers.
Fucking literally. Like, the wait, there's like, there's like 5 restaurants here, and this is the one that you go to, Starlight. The wait was 2.5 hours the other day.
Ew.
So,
Ew.
so,
Ugh.
haven't made it in yet. I called my mom, and she was like, well, do you have anything better to do? It's like, that's a fucking great point. No, I don't.
Well, okay, but not in 94 degrees. I have
Right.
a couple things that I'd like to do, like not stand in line in the hot sun, but,
Crawl under
call me a princess, but...
crawl under a fucking rock and hide for the next 6 hours.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Send pictures, though, and let me know how it is. Like, let me know how the restaurant and bar is, because, like, when you do go, because it'll be really cool. And if you send me photos, I'll post it on our socials so that people can see it. It's like a free advertisement,
For Terlingua.
for the city.
I mean, honestly, we need to just start sending invoices at this point. We've done this shit for so many people. It's
We're
ridiculous.
so good to people. I'm not saying we're doing God's work, but, like, we're doing God's work.
Yes, ma'am. Karma, please, God, somebody give me some points. Okay, so at Starlight, they make their own tequila, and they've got a bunch of different ways to, like, get it down your gullet. So they've got all these different famous cocktails, and one of them is called the Old Gringo, and I thought it just sounded fabulous. I'll let you know how it is.
Ooh.
It's kind of similar to a margarita, but orange, lime, and then their house-made Repasado Tequila. So...
Ooh. Especially on a 94-degree day, that sounds really nice.
Fucking literally, like...
Can you just throw one out to me while I'm in line, please?
Right. So they've got this thing that they're kind of even more famous for called the porch, and it's literally just a porch with the shade structure, and it's like the only shade in the 100-mile radius. So all these locals...
Oh no.
It's BYOB, so you go sit up on the porch, drink beer, smoke. We'll get into all the cool history about it, but I think I'm gonna head up there in a bit, just because.
Yes.
So you are in the we'll say New England. What temp is it there?
Today it's a little cooler, but we were having like high 70s the last couple days. It was beautiful, but today it's like a high of like 57 or something. So it's a little crisp. It's a little crisp and brisk outside, but the Ice Queen loves it. So I'm like, open all the windows, and like my family's like, please, we were good. Don't hurt us.
Tradesies. Okay, so a little bit about I was gonna just jump right into Terlingua, but I'll do a quick to-do of how we got here. So from Fort Worth to Terlingua is about a 7.5 hour drive if you can go the Texas regulated 85 down the highways.
I like how you put that caveat in there. Sounds like you didn't do that. But
Well, so I got the bus weighed, and coming in at just over, I think, 18,000 pounds. She's a beast. She only goes about 55 downhill.
oh,
So,
baby, she's so sweet. It's fine. Oh, that's so cute. Oh man, you're taking the scenic route. Like, man,
yeah,
you're going slow.
not in a rush, which is kind of, it's good to be like, because apparently she burns she gets half the gas mileage when you put her at 70. So she can do it, but it's like,
It hurts her. It hurts her.
It hurts everyone's feelings. And so the trip, it was like 3 days. So it's a 7.5 hour drive. It took 3 days. The first night, glamorous. Welcome to your new life as a nomad. Sleeping on the side of the road, which actually ended up being fabulous. We found this rest stop. And I never done that. Have you ever done that?
Slept in a rest area?
Uh-huh.
I think so. As a kid, I think like in our van and stuff where there's like a bed in the back. I think so. I don't know. I don't remember.
I've like only, yeah. I didn't know that like a passenger car can just pull up. So there was like all kinds of folk just conked out, and there was like a Porsche, and then there was like 18-wheelers, and there was a variety of folks. So,
Wow.
um,
Everybody just taking a breather, taking a nap.
just taking a quick nap. Well, and there's nothing out here. I passed through Midland and Odessa, and literally, Caitlin, oil fell out of the sky, covered my car.
What?
It was a dust storm, so there was like dust everywhere. It looked like, have you seen the Book of Eli?
Yes.
It looked like that shit. I shit you not. It was like you couldn't see more than 100 yards in front of you because there's so much sand in the air.
Whoa.
And then tar, oil. I can't get it off my car. Like,
Oh my God. Well, okay. And another little caveat there, like that sounds like a dream if I had a man in my presence with me. Because you have to remember that every true crime story starts with a woman alone who's in a car at a rest stop taking a nap. And then it's like somebody's like peeking in and like gonna chop you and make a skin suit out of you.
that.
There's a little bit of fear if I didn't have a man with me, but like if I had an escort with me, a chaperone, I feel like that would actually be kind of fun and spontaneous.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, sorry, back to the dust storm. Tell me about life and.
You're right. I'm looking at you. The camera can't see, but I've got all kinds. I just got knives as a motherfucker just sitting right here. So I'm like, who want to play? Come for me.
I have all the knives hanging from my rearview mirror to show everyone not to fuck with me.
Literally. I've got 4 in the window.
I love it.
So then we did a quick 300 miles the next day, and
just a quick 300.
Make it all day. And there's this place called there's some sand hills on the west side of Texas that we stayed there. We like ended up splurging and getting an RV site for the night. But it's like legit sand dunes, like. But I know there's like a thing like that close to New Mexico and stuff, but they were like for real.
Well, did you go outside and play?
Oh yeah.
Good.
So much fun, and but we were only there for like maybe 10 hours, and we slept probably 8 of them. So we played for a little bit, and then that last day, we had a friend of a friend has some land here in Terlingua, which has officially 100 residents.
Oh my God!
It's
wow.
Tiny.
Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
And he's being generous enough to just kind of let us park here for a little bit until we figure out which direction we're gonna go and all that. So,
wow.
It's been fabulous. That's how we got here.
You are living an adventure, and you need to keep checking in on with these updates, because think about how many people would do that if they could, either through obligations they can't or fear they can't.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep us keep us apprised so that we can live vicariously through you, please.
I will be thrilled to. I was just talking about that last night about how it's easy to get wrapped up in like what to do every single day and like the checklist and the da-da-da-da-da and forget that like I'm doing something that's like a lifelong dream, and so many people. It's the
whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole point. So yeah, don't forget that. But you know what? I mean, this first chapter, as you're just settling into this new rhythm, everything has changed. All your habits have to start over. Like, you need a minute. You need a minute to like adjust to what this whole new life is going to be. And then once it starts to become familiar to you in the coming weeks, like then it's going to be like second nature. And then you can really naturally start to enjoy more of the, surprises and just little treasures along the way.
Spot on. Yes. I said going into it as like 6 weeks. I'm going to need 6 weeks to figure out how to get comfortable. And we're on like day 11. So,
yeah. Well, enjoy this too. I mean, enjoy this process, or try to.
Yeah. No, it's been great. We've been so lucky with this connection, and everybody here is so nice. So, let's get into a little bit about Terlingua, because I just think it's so fucking fascinating. So, Terlingua was built in the 30s during the Quicksilver boom. Do you know what that is? I didn't know what that is.
Quicksilver?
Uh-huh.
It's a brand in the mall that's overpriced for like kind of people who want to be emo, but like also kind of surfer people.
It's just very
So
white
yeah,
trash.
I know what it is.
Yes. I go back and forth on it. Between that and Hurley, I'm like, does this make me look like a Republican or?
Oh my god. No. What is Quicksilver? What is that?
So, same with me. And then I was like, oh, duh, it's mercury.
Oh,
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's like it's back in the day what they used to call mercury because it melts at such low temps that it's like quicksilver.
Oh, of course. Okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, oh, this is actually a bit about the Starlight, and then I'll go into Terlingua itself. So, going back to where the cocktail was born. Built in the 30s during the Quicksilver boom in Terlingua, the spot served as a cool movie theater in the hot desert of Terlingua. When the mines went bust in 1940s, the theater was abandoned and scrapped, and then when modern pioneers began repopulating the area, the roof was missing, but the porch, which we mentioned earlier, provided shade and a good hangout for locals, so thus it became the Starlight Theater. In 1967, it hosted the first Terlingua World Championship Chili Cook-Off and has operated at its current business as a bar and restaurant/venue since 1991. So, if you're ever in Alpine Marathon, I think what the locals call it Marathon, Alpine Marathon, Southwest Texas, stop by the Starlight Theater. I mean, I haven't been yet, but I hear you have to go. So, go. The Ghost Town. So.
I love it. I love it already. Sorry.
I'll send you, I haven't taken pictures of, like, the cemetery and all that stuff yet, but I will do that and send them to you. Because it's
Between history, loving history, and just worshiping and loving those stories, and then just liking the creepy ghost stories, I am enthralled. I am at the edge of my seat. I want to know everything.
Okay, same. But, like, when I read about it, I was like, oh, man, the, like, folklore about it is much better. So, we'll do both.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do both.
Do both.
We'll do both. Because I was like, this is right up Caitlin's alley because you did the Halloween episode, you did the witchy episode, so. As I mentioned earlier, Terlingua is Texas's most visited ghost town, and it's located in Brewster County, which is the largest county in the state, and I think maybe in the nation. I need to double check that. But Terlingua sits right in between the two Big Bend parks. There's one national and one state park, and it's about 3 miles from the Rio Grande. So it is very, very, very close to the border.
Okay.
Terlingua means 3 tongues, likely for 2 reasons. There were 3 languages spoken here in its creation: English, Spanish, and Native American, and the 3 forks of the Terlingua Creek.
Oh, okay.
A brief aside that I didn't write into my notes, but I just have to fucking mention. So there's this hike around this mountain rock. The mountains here aren't really they're technically mountains, I think the biggest peak is 9,000 feet, which is it's a mountain, but it's not like a fucking mountain.
Yeah. It's not the Swiss Alps or anything.
Right.
It gives you a good incline if you want to take a hike. I get it. It's a 4 on the treadmill. It's not a 10.
Yeah.
I get it.
Exactly. They were like, oh, yeah, well, there's this other hike over here that, nobody knows about. It's called Indian Head. If you're ever around here, go to Indian Head. You just barely sneak into this national park, but there's no, guard there. There's nobody there to, take your money. So you can just kind of get on to the other side of the fence. And there are old, ancient Indian pictographs.
Yes.
And we found some, and it was so fucking cool. And they're etched into the rocks, and there's a couple different theories flying around with the locals about what's what. Oh, there's a skoolie. Bye, girl.
Hi, bro. Hello, brother. Hello.
Be right behind you. But I will definitely send you pics of this. It's so we found this thing, and this girl who's here, she's like, I think that this was a birthing chamber. If you look at those pictographs, it kind of looks like this, and there's this rock that has this smoothed out like hole right where, you know, they could have like performed some sort of birthing ceremony. And
Wow.
I found these little teeny tiny handprints, red handprints, from way back when, and it turns out that is from something called cinnabar. It's a pigment, but it's part of mercury. It's like part of the natural form of mercury.
Oh no.
So the Indians knew about the mercury, and they used it as like a skin marking kind of thing.
Oh my God, that's so bad for you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
There wasn't a lot of info about that, which is kind of strange because like they know a little bit about like the indigenous folk here, but they don't know a lot about, and I think it's because of the fucking mercury, honestly. I think that everyone who's lived here has gone fucking bonkers.
It could just be small town. I mean, you could throw a cocktail together with some mercury to add a little spice to it, but you know, a small town can make you crazy.
That's
too.
so fucking true. But if you add Mad Hatters to that, I'm just like,
Oh my God, best reference. Oh my God, best reference. Yes.
Okay, so that was inside. So Terlingua, that's the name. Cool, great. So the first settlement in the area was a Mexican village located on Terlingua Creek, 3 miles above its confluence with the Rio Grande. In the mid 1880s, cinnabar, from which the metal mercury is extracted, was discovered, which would slowly change the region from a single sleepy village into a mining district.
You've got Cinnabon and you've got Quicksilver. I feel like Spencer's is coming next.
This is modern America.
Sorry.
I love it. The local indigenous folk had long known about the cinnabar, and they prized it for its brilliant red color for body pigment. So, around 1890, people start to realize there's a lot of cinnabar in the area, and this is weird. They just kind of gloss over this shit in the history of Terlingua, which I think we can all make our own assumptions. It said, quote, with the threat of hostile Indians gone. So.
Where'd they go? Though? Did they
just
rip that page out?
They just decided to leave?
Did they just pack their bags and say, fuck this? I doubt it.
I've lived here forever, but you take it.
You guys take it. It's fine. It's fine.
Imagine.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, they skipped through that part. Yeah.
You get 6 words and that's it. Great, love that. Companies started moving into the mercury-rich land. This is 1890-ish. 4 companies began competing until the Chisos Mine Company came in and became the largest mercury producer in the United States.
Oof.
Eventually, Chisos beats out the others and becomes the only operating mining company, and it's also running the town, which turns out to be about 1,000 people, and it provides a company doctor, mail service, grocer, spotty telephone service, which still to this day is spotty, and dependable water, which is dependable.
Wow. So a lot of those people that went out at the gold rush or the whatever, in this case, I guess the Quicksilver rush, like most people did not make their fortunes, obviously, but the ones who did made like the equivalent. I mean, and there was no government regulation to anything, so like you could just monopolize the entire industry. So that's crazy to me that like it really was like a mad dash to try to make your fortune because you literally could. Like this company that you just said that came in, like the biggest like producer. It's like so easy once you find that equivalent of the oil, you've struck oil. It's the same kind of thing. So that's really interesting that just like, oh, and then all of a sudden you've got this company coming in and now it's like the biggest mass-produced mercury whatever in like the world, or
right. Yeah. And it's so funny that you like mentioned that because that's literally in the next 2 sentences.
We are the same wavelength, you and
boom,
I.
boom, boom, boom. Even from 14 trillion miles. I feel like I'm so far, and I'm not.
14 trillion.
In 1914, the company discovered the largest vein of quicksilver right as World War I was beginning, and they needed a bunch of mercury for like airplane instruments and all this kind of like military stuff. So this was a massive boom. And
Oh my God. Supply and demand, man.
just perfect timing for these assholes. And it said this on this historical site. It said, though secrecy surrounded the operation, it was estimated that by 1934, the company had sold over $12 million in mercury, which back then is like...
$14 trillion.
It's literally trillions. You own the planet. Yeah. And one employee claimed the company averaged daily profits of $2,000 during the early war years.
Wow.
But, like other mines, it wouldn't last forever. After 1936, production declined, and on October 1st, 1942, remember that year, 42, the company filed for bankruptcy. It was sold on March 15th, 1943, to the Texas Railway Equipment Company for $81,000, which that's fucking millions back then.
Oof.
It was then operated as the Esperado Mine through the end of World War II in 1945. Afterward, the surface installations were sold for salvage. So, basically, and I read like 3 of these sites because I was like, that's not what I've heard would happen, but it seems to be the historical account agreed upon, is that they came in, they found some quicksilver, the war hit, and then everybody was down. There was 1,000 people down here working, and it was a mix of people from Mexico, it was a mix of some Anglos, and it was a mix of, I don't think that there were many Indians working. Indigenous
Remember,
folk.
they all left. They all packed their bags.
Oh, right. That's right. They just offered it. Right. Forgot.
Yeah.
So they built this little town on this hill, which I'll send you pictures of the hill. And basically it's just like a store and the bar thing that they had set up. And historically, it seems like in 1942, business runs dry, and everyone kind of just packs their bags and leaves and goes back to wherever the fuck they came from. But the folklore of it is much better. Let's talk about that. So,
yes.
There is a gravesite when you go halfway up the hill. I would say the hill's like maybe a half mile, maybe quarter mile. As you're going up the hill, on your left, there's about a 1 acre cemetery.
Typically not a great sign when the graveyard is like walking distance
from the mine,
that's
the
not
bar.
The ambiance you want to give your employees, but okay.
So, yes. It's all convoluted in my head, as folklore should be, I suppose. But, the legend has it that everyone that was working in these mine shafts, and there's something like 75 mine shafts right around the area. The cities had to come in and put like grates over them so people don't fall into them and die. Because they're literally right next to the bar where everyone just gets shithoused.
Oh my God, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh, it's bonkers. Like, there's still canyons and there's still cliff faces and all this shit, and like there's nothing. I don't mean this rude. There's nothing to do out here, which I love. But
just drink.
Just drink and stay cool. That's what you fucking do. So I don't know how they. Maybe there's been more deaths than I know of, but I don't. They put the grates over them, and then there's steep cliffs everywhere. So, Godspeed to the people here. But if you walk through that cemetery, it's like there's an obvious lot of people who died in 1943, which is right when they were wrapping up. And the legend has it that they all got fucking mercury poisoning. So...
Not surprising, yes.
Which, right, they were like down there breathing that shit in. And then they even had like furnaces touching it. Yeah, they had furnaces where they would separate. There's like, you separate the cinnabar from the element itself in a furnace, I think, is how it works. And so like the people that worked closest to those, their like teeth would shrink and fall out of their faces. And
Oh my god.
literally turn them like nuts. I don't think that I'm confusing this here, but I haven't like double checked. Mercury poisoning is the one that's like you just become bizarre.
I think you do go crazy. I'm gonna look it up right now. Mercury poisoning symptoms. I think it is like you said with Mad Hatter.
Exactly,
So
like S-Town.
it says, yeah, being exposed to. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
He got mercury poisoning.
S-Town. Yeah. Spoilers, guys. Anyway.
They came late.
It says nervousness or anxiety. Oh, I might have mercury poisoning. Irritability or mood changes. I might have mercury poisoning. Memory problems. Oh my god. I need to get to the doctor right away.
Do you eat a lot of fish?
Anyway.
Yeah.
No. It says nervousness or anxiety, irritability or mood changes, numbness, memory problems, depression, and physical tremors. And then over time, you get muscle weakness, a metallic taste in your mouth, nausea and vomiting, lack of motor skills or feeling uncoordinated, inability to feel in the hands, face, or other areas, changes in vision, hearing, and speech, difficulty breathing, difficulty walking or standing straight. So you start looking like you're drunk and walking around. And then it says like it can affect like children's development, long-term intelligence disorders and low IQ, slow reflexes, damaged motor skills, paralysis, and symptoms of ADHD.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yikes. Oh, and dental. There's a whole thing on dental fillings, it says. Because some of them used to be mercury.
Oh, God.
Like the silver fillings.
They would put mercury in people's mouths. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Anyway, sorry. This is... Oh, my God. I think of nightmares. Okay.
Well, you can get this kind of... Like, you can get mercury poisoning if you eat too much fish, or if a fish has been exposed to mercury. You can...
Especially solid white albacore tuna.
Mm-hmm. Which I've got fucking... Look, everybody. I've got fucking 10 cans of right here.
This is why we are anxious and have memory problems.
Literally?
It's not the drink. It's all the mercury from the healthy fish we're eating.
If I stay here long enough. Which is my thing. Okay, so hear me out. There's so there's like 10 or 15 of these graves that like are dug, like they all died at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
And there's babies, there's like a ton of babies, which like, I mean, obviously it was like probably hard to have kids in that time regardless, but just like the amount of deaths right around that time, I'm just like, I really think what happened here is like people went fucking crazy. They operated these mines successfully for about 30 years and then they went batshit.
Yeah.
And there was like, you know, the typical prototypical like bar fights and all this shit on this hill because it's the only fucking bar in like 100 miles. Mm-hmm. But I like go back in my head and I'm like, imagine, you know, coming from Fort Worth on a train and landing here where everyone has fucking mercury poisoning. It is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right on the border.
And then you've got the stressors of trying to hit it, like you're trying to make money and you're down in the mine and you've got like serious trauma of like hard labor and like whatever on top of being poisoned every day. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a rest and nothing to do but drink and then get anxiety, depression. Yeah. So you get poisoned and then you go to the bar. Of course, you're going to fight with somebody or whatever, you know. And then you can't walk, so then you fight with someone and then you fall in one of those mine pits.
Right.
Recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Perfect recipe.
Yeah. It's wild. It's so.
It's crazy. It truly is like nuts to me that this is something that happened and that people didn't know, like they weren't aware of the risks, you know.
Yeah Exactly. How the fuck did you not know? And like, I think it's actually the coal or whenever, like there's some methane anytime you're mining, there's something about canaries.
Yep. They know first if it's gonna, I think it's like for a number of things, but I think it's like if it's gonna cave in too. Like I think they have a
instinctual
sense,
crazy
so get out of it.
Yeah. I'm like, did y'all not have any? And then I like look at the birds around here, and I'm like, no, you probably didn't have any canaries. So I don't.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would grab a fucking canary and lock it in my pocket. Like, you're not going anywhere.
$5,000. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'll send you some pics. It's such a cool place. It's so everybody flooded out of here like 1943. It became a legit ghost town. There's ruins of people's houses. There's there's the cemetery. There's the deserted mine. There's all kinds of cool, just like artifacty stuff.
Can you go in the mine? Of course you can't, because there's mercury in there.
I think you can. I think you can. I haven't.
Oh my God, we've learned nothing. No, maybe it's safe. Maybe it's safe. Like just go in the little mouth of it, but like don't
wear a
go
lead
far
suit.
or
Yeah,
and like don't fuck with the mercury. I mean, maybe I don't know. I'll take it as a souvenir.
I don't know. I'll have to. Yeah, I've kind of been hunkered down because it's been so hot. But I'll have to do some digging
to go exploring. Yeah.
But it's kind of it's repopulated itself as this like collective of even the historical websites, the historical accounts that I was reading were like it's kind of become this place for like loners, outcasts, nomads, artists, musicians. It's like a very creative. It's kind of got the same similar vibe to Marfa, but with like more Texan, Mexican, Native American. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's a haven for people to kind of come and collect and, do their thing.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of RVs. There's a shit ton of people living in vans. There's not much... There's like a couple rich people that own all the fucking land, and then everyone else is just shit poor. But everybody takes care of each other, and it's just a really, really cool community. There's great, fantastic folk here. Super helpful, super kind, super excellent, all that. So, if you're ever in Southwest Texas, or Fort Worth even, drive from Fort Worth, because Fort Worth's a shithole, and get to Terlingua.
I need to look at a map to see how far west it is from, like, San Antonio, because San Antonio is, like, the bottom tip, is that right?
No, San Antonio's like... San Antonio is the southernmost big city, for sure, but I think San Antonio is still, like, 3 hours from the beach.
Okay.
I think Corpus...
I just typed San Antonio to Terlingua. It's 6 hours and 37 minutes.
It's a fucking hike. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I see, like, where it is in relation to Austin and stuff, too. Okay. Hey, listen, that's fine. How is nighttime? Like, is the night sky different?
Oh, yes. It's kind of been cloudy at night the last couple of nights, but the first time we got here, it was dark, and it is gorgeous. It is so many stars. McDonald's Observatory is, like, within 200 miles of here, so we're going to try to hit that up on the way out.
Cool.
It's Fort Stockton. But no, the sky is fucking amazing, and
I've never seen like the night sky outside of a city before.
Shit.
So I dream of that as a bucket list thing. So I'm envisioning what you're seeing. And again, if it's a cloudy night, I know it's not that exciting, but still like just how dark it could be.
It's very, very, very dark. You can kind of see like there's just a couple of homes within the like in my eyesight, eye line, whatever the fuck, right now.
He's got mercury poisoning.
That should happen quick. Yeah. No, but it's gorgeous. Yeah. I was take a picture of the sky, but I don't think that would do it justice.
Oh man, well that's exciting. I mean, it's something on the list for sure. I mean, and just the idea of all the hiking trails and seeing like the abandoned mine shafts and all that sounds really cool.
Yeah. There's like all these like stories of like people that settled in Big Bend, which is now the national park. I've discovered somebody's old house on the hike up to the canyon, and then there's just rich history with cool shit of just pioneers doing stupid crazy shit.
Does it feel like 1940s abandoned? Like, does it feel a lot like that or not really? Like, does it have a 40s feel like a lot of the abandoned places.
Yeah, it's just kind of like rocks left over, you know? Like
Yeah.
you could
Oh,
tell
wow.
there was a house there, but the walls are basically gone, and there's like
Nature took it back.
she's a fucking mean, hateful bitch here. She just takes it right on back. There's like 4 different types of rock all stacked up on top of each other. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really cool, but you'll have like shale next to some other like sandstone kind of thing, next to some iron thing, next to some red rock, and it all just kind of mixes all over the place. So,
Wow.
picks to come for sure. I'm going to wrap up here so that I can get this file to you on this spotty Wi-Fi, but I'm so thankful for it, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm so excited. Where are you headed next?
I'm hoping to stay here through the end of the month-ish. And then, because it's so
We're
fun.
about halfway through the month, just for anybody who's curious. That's about like a 2 weeks thing.
March 13th-ish. What is today? March 14th? March
13th.
13th. Look at that. It was so hot. I was like, how far is Zion? Let's just go straight to Zion. But Zion's 1,000 miles from here. So, probably Roswell. Probably.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what episode you're going to have to do then, right?
Whenever I sneak into fucking Area 51 and steal the aliens back and liberate them.
Yes! Oh my god!
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
More to come.
Hey, really quick. So I was so fascinated by like the town and what you were telling me that I was very rudely also looking up more on it because I was like, this is so cool. And it says that there was a murder in Terlingua. And it says you know, it's a magnet for drifters, but not murderers. So when a popular bar owner turned up dead after a night of hard drinking, the tiny town found itself facing some very tough questions.
Dun, 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 dun. That might be coming in a couple weeks. I saw that like second link when I searched Terlingua and I didn't have time to read it. I'll have to scope it out.
Ooh, so we're gonna leave that a mystery. Look it up if you want. But there's a quote here that says, "Half the town is drunker than snot 24 hours a day, and they don't kill anybody." That is such a good line for a city. They should put that on a sign.
The mayor.
They should put that on the welcome sign.
Yeah, I think it's true. I think it's like bone dry, the truth. I think that is it. Somebody the other day was just like, I'm not going to give any names here, but he was just like, man, it's really nice to talk to people that can like string sentences together. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Everyone is so drunk.
In your like collection of experiences, have you ever been to a place kind of like this before? To this extreme?
No, hell no. No.
Wow.
No, this
That's
is
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you can add it to your collection for sure. I mean, this is something unlike any other place in America, I would argue.
I think so. Yeah, I'm thinking there will be some like there's some similarities and like some like RV camping spots like big like this. I think this is pretty, but we'll see. We'll find out.
Okay. Well, good, honey. Thank you. I'm so excited. And again, please keep us apprised. This is a shorter episode today just for logistical reasons, but we'll jump back on when we can and we'll get the longer ones going. Kendall has to be a fucking magician in order to make sure that the tech works everywhere he goes. So just imagine this. You are in a different location, you know, not necessarily every time we record, but you're in a different location most of the time. And he has to figure out very quickly what the Wi-Fi situation is, what the speed of the Wi-Fi situation is, what the like population area of people using the Wi-Fi around him is. Like, he has to truly pull a rabbit out of a hat every single time. And so kudos to him for being able to connect us out in the middle of the Mercury Desert.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time to make sure that we can set up. And I'm so excited. I mean, you've got so many good stories that are coming just by the experiences that you're going to do. So yeah,
thank you,
that's a wrap on this episode, I think. Unless, hon, you got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, listen, we will connect with you next week and we will have a brand new episode. Have a good week, everybody, and see you later.
Bye. That was good.
Yeah, you didn't even know it was coming. And you had
I
it.
was like, I think, yes.